So we're coming to chapter 1, verse 14 of the Gospel of John. And this, of course, is a familiar verse, one that is often recited and one that really does conclude now what's commonly called the prologue to John's Gospel. It begins Kai Ho Logos, and the Logos, which of course has been the subject of our discussion up until this point. We've seen many things about the Logos, including what amounts to an affirmation of the deity of the Logos, among other things. And now we're surprised as John announces to us that the Logos sarx egeneto. The Logos became, that word we've seen before, became, it came to pass, aorist of genomai, to become. The word, the Logos, became flesh. Had not always been flesh, of course, otherwise this verb could not be used, but at a certain point in time, this eternal Logos that was there from the beginning became flesh, kai, and then this word, eskenosen, from the verb skenoo, which means to tent. If you could take the word tent in English, which is a noun, of course, and turn it into a verb, we would say to tent somewhere. We might add an explanatory note, something like to camp. Of course, it's often translated by the notion of tabernacle. God tabernacled. The Logos tabernacled or tented among us, dwelt among us, and the implication of it, of course, is dwelt in this kind of transitory experience, the existence we have. It is reminiscent of the experience of the Israelites as they were in the wilderness, and God, Yahweh, tabernacled among them. And now we have a parallel notion. The Logos became flesh, and eskenosen, tabernacled, en hemen. The pronoun here for us, tabernacled in us, or in this case really the word in means among us. So here among us we have now the Logos, living among us, tabernacling among us. And atheosamatha, from the word theaomai, a deponent verb, means to examine, to behold something, but implied in it is to examine it carefully. And so we examined this Logos, and particularly examined tein doxen, the glory autou of the Logos. This may be John alluding to the Transfiguration, in which indeed the disciples who were there, Peter, James, and John, were able to witness, to experience the glory. But I suppose he has something broader than that in mind, that in some ways everyone who was with the Logos, with Christ in his earthly experience, was able to, in some sense or other, examine, to behold, tein doxen autou, his glory. Doxen, John continues, hos as monogenous. That, of course, is the word for only begotten, the mono, lone or only or one, begotten one, the only begotten, para patros, from Father. No definite article here, from Father, stated as such, almost implying a little bit of a personal touch there, but actually it's simply saying qualitatively that the Logos originated from and is the only begotten from Father. Pleres, full, keritos, of grace, kai aletheos, and truth, full of grace, overflowing, as it were, with grace and truth. And all of that flowed out of a beholding of the glory. So it is a remarkable statement. Everything we've seen about the Logos, of course, was leading up to this most astonishing moment in which John now announces that this Logos, this eternal reality, face to face with God, equal with God, indeed God himself, the one in whom intrinsically was life, which is the light of men, this one concerning whom witness was borne by the one that we know of as John the Baptist, this one now has joined us in our humanity, has taken upon himself our flesh. And this verse, of course, stands for all of that in its content.